let's talk about color compositions today.
That the entirety of the cosmos is accessible to each and every individual's mind, connecting to the great mind, the great spirit.
Welcome back to the channel, collectors. So today I'll be speaking about color composition. Color composition is really interesting and important because you need color composition to decide what colors you want to put on your miniature. You got to decide that this is the entire framework which you are going to base your entire miniature upon, which I find it very interesting and very good to use at the start. So if you're ready, I'm going to share with you guys some tips of how you can improve your color compositions. Let's go! So first and foremost, before I start talking about any color composition, I'm going to start talking about my basis of color composition. I like to use the golden ratio, which is very commonly seen in art, and this is the ratio which I try to roughly stick to when I'm painting my miniatures. When I'm painting my miniatures, I don't fervently stick to this rule, but I find it as a very useful and helpful guide when I'm painting miniatures. So as you guys can see right here, this is the golden ratio. So the golden ratio is sort of like this parabolic curve that just keeps getting smaller and smaller. So the ratio is roughly each diagonal halves itself. That's how you get the golden ratio of 1.6 something something something. Okay, this golden ratio is very amazing because it can be seen in classical art like this, in Mona Lisa, it can be seen in nature, and I feel that this generally has this very general useful feel to it. Okay, so the ratio that I tend to distribute my colors would be 6 to 3 to 1. So in this ratio, we're going to call the largest color 6 as the primary color, 3 as the secondary color, and 1 as the accent color. Okay? So if you're ready, we're going to start talking more about color compositions. So before we start using the ratio, we're going to talk about some basic color theory. So color theory has been very extensively covered by a lot of YouTubers for miniature painting and art really. You just have a simple search of color theory, you guys can see color wheels and the simple color distribution. I tend to use the split complementary or the equidistant one. Okay? So by using a split complementary, I tend to use these colors, as you guys can rotate around the color wheel, to select what are these 3 colors to be used in this golden ratio. Hierarchy of importance. Alright, so does it mean that 6 is the most important color and 1 is the least important color? More often than not, there are 2 ways to use this ratio. The ratio of 6 can be the main color, but this main color does not need to be the most important color of them all. Usually I like to choose the most important color being 3s and 1, where the 6 will be the entire frame. However, if you would like, you could use 6 as the main color, say for example for a large robot or something like that, and then start highlighting and creating interesting areas using 3s and 1s. I apply this concept to my dioramas also. As you guys can see, the hierarchy of importance is very important because if you don't use the ratio correctly, like as you can see in this image over here, the colors tend to be quite evenly distributed and it might leave the viewer confused to what is the main focal point of the miniature. Much rather, as you guys can see in this diorama, which I'm painting for Golden Demon, I distributed the colors in 6 where it's cold green blue, 3 where it's the brown and ochre and gold, and 1 being red color. So these are the colors which I'm using, and I find that it's very helpful to distribute these colors this way as it leads the viewer's eyes to the central focal point, which is the glowing light at the end of the staff. Part separation. So as you guys can see, the entire composition for the diorama which I spoke about previously is quite fluid, but the thing is you can also use this for part separation. As you guys heard just now when I talked about a large robot, I'm going to use Gasgoo as an example. So Gasgoo's ratio is 6 being sort of like this blue-black, 3 being red and 1 being green. Okay? So as you guys can see, while using the 30% of red, you can separate the colors where the claw is in a different color, the face is in a different color. This allows the entire miniature to be a bit more readable, which also helps the composition of the miniature. That's why I feel that gas glue is probably a good example to use in this color composition guide. Alright collectors, so these are some of the tips which I like to use when I'm doing color composition. Were they useful for you? Let me know in the comments below. You guys know the drill also. Like, subscribe and all the other stuff. And also, let me know what you think about the video by commenting. And if you can afford it, go be a patron today. Patrons get extended play videos, and also if you get to the higher tier, you guys get to interact with me and we get become better miniature painters together. I like to thank my patrons for allowing me to do this, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you!